Connie, just so grateful for what you do for the community. You know, if you are a senior in this community in Oklahoma City, Edmond area, Connie, these seminars are just so wonderful and such a good source of information for us all. So I'm grateful to be a part of this. I'm grateful to be a part of Connie's ecosystem and to be here today. I also love what Linda said. My father died unexpectedly in 2019. I mean, like, really unexpectedly, no warning at all. And, you know, he had funds, let's say, but nothing was set up. That he pre-planned his whole funeral through a service like Linda's, and it was such a relief to the family to just have all that ready to go. I can't tell you how comforting it was to have that type of situation already planned out. So thank you for what you do too. All right, so we're going to talk about essential nutrients today. So we're smart people, we're scientifically advanced in our society, so surely we have this all figured out, right? If I ask you guys, are you all malnourished? How many of you would raise your hand? Okay, so a couple of you, that's good. If I ask you, are you getting everything that you need for the food supply, which is kind of the same question. Again, most of us think that we do, right? So, you know, I eat my eggs and avocado and whatever, and, you know, my meat, and I'm good, right? I'm fueling this thing that I drive every day. Well, God is a perfect engineer, if you will, okay? So, and what do I mean when I say that? Well, I mean that every single cell inside of you is created perfect. You don't create a cell to be mediocre. You don't create a cell to fail. You don't create a cell to get cancer. You don't create a cell to walk out. You create perfect cells that are perfectly designed. Now, aren't we just a big collection of cells? We are, right? So everything inside of us is also in a process of renewal. So if I understand everything that I need to do for a cell, if I can take him and comfort him and kind of give him everything that he needs, he's going to be a happy cell. And he's going to create a happy organ. And he's going to create a happy tissue system. And he's going to create a happy blood system. And he's going to create a happy neurological system. And he's going to create a happy you. Okay? You guys with me? Okay, great. So, I'm 65, so I'm 65, and most people my age are on numerous medications. So if I ask you guys are probably on at least one medication, maybe a couple, if you're over 65. Is that necessary? You know, again, if you have high blood pressure, God is a perfect engineer, right? Well, why do we have high blood pressure? There's got to be a cause. There's got to be a reason. That's not perfect engineering. Well, I don't think that blood pressure medication, it might get your blood pressure down. Okay? It might scientifically do what it's supposed to do. But is it getting to the root cause of what's causing that blood pressure? No. Again, if you have high cholesterol, is that normal? No. It takes a cause. It takes a reason. If you have gastric upset every time you eat food, if you have burping and stomach acid and things like that, is that normal? No. So you're taught, we're going to tell you what's wrong with you, and you're going to accept it and like it, right? We're taught really to ignore these health signals. But those health signals are super important. If I have issues when I eat, that's not normal, right? That's a health signal. That's telling me something. What we're finding in our science, and again, when I say science, we participate nationally in a way bigger picture here. I'm an adjunct professor at a couple of universities. I help build curriculum at a couple of universities. So we're kind of, let's say, tip of the spear in some of this science. So some of this is stuff that you're not going to hear from your doctor, but it doesn't mean it's not true. And if you guys have an AI tool that you like, I would encourage you to check out everything that I tell you or try to teach you in this presentation. Okay? okay? So, our modern food system has changed, right? We are not doing the same things that we did, let's say, in 1900, okay? Now, let me tell you something about health that you guys might not realize, and we'll get to why this is important. Resilience is a very important word in health. So if you're my age, if you're 65 and over, you're more resilient than people who are 50. People who are 50 are more resilient than people who are 35. People who are 35 are more resilient than teenagers. Teenagers are more resilient than 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds right now, okay? And this is because our modern food system has changed, all right? So I got some good food, but every generation below me, that went away and began to go away more and more and more. So it's important to understand that I might eat plenty of food every day, but still be malnourished, okay? So, what do cows eat? What do cows eat? Grass. Do cows eat corn?
Yes.
We feed them corn. But would a cow naturally eat corn? I mean, likely if you let a bunch of cows out in the cornfield, they're probably going to eat it all. But that's naturally, not naturally what they eat. They eat grass. Okay? When I take a cow, if I'm a farmer right now, a rancher, again, I corn finish everything. I corn finish all my beef. I also use soy. Again, cows won't eat soy naturally. Will a chicken eat corn naturally? We go out in the cornfield and start pecking around? No. Yeah, they eat bottoms of grass. Will a chicken eat soy naturally? No. But those are cheap, easy feeds that make those animals fat. Okay? If a cow eats grass, is that a different meat than if a cow eats corn? Yeah. 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 And we'll talk about that in a little bit more detail in a second. Okay, so the other thing that we've done, so that's feed animals, right? So you need to recognize that your food supply is only as good as what that farmer's feeding that cow. And if you shop at Sprouts and pay 12 times as much as the rest of us, then maybe you're getting some grass-fed, grass-finished. But if you shop at Crest, like most of us, again, you've got to realize that that meat is super heavy in something called omega-6 and has no omega-3 in it because of the feed. And we'll talk about why that's important in a second. So, soil. All right? Is our soil the same as it used to be? No! Again, how do we used to farm? I mean, a plow, pull behind a donkey or a horse. By the way, donkeys being biblical. Think about this. You're the prince of the world. You're the prince of the universe. You're the son of God. And you get ready to make your big entrance to the people of Jerusalem, to your people. You ride in on a donkey. Can you imagine the humility that took? The humility that took. It makes me cry almost every time I think about it. It's just a cool story. Anyway, so soil. We used to, plow our fields behind a donkey, right, or a horse. When we were doing that, we were respecting the soil. So in order for things to grow in soil, the soil has to be alive. So you have to, stick the shovel in. You have to see the earthworms and the bacteria and the ecosystem that's a part of that soil, because plants interface with that. Plants interface with that living soil in order to produce the proper nutrients that we need. When you are doing an 8-furrow plow and you're plowing up your field every year and then you're throwing ammonium nitrate and fertilizers like that on top of that soil, you may be able to feed your plants a little bit, but you're not feeding those plants like you did when that soil was alive. Now, why does that matter to you? I used to be able to eat a strawberry and get a ton of nutrients for one strawberry. And what's important about a strawberry is not an essential food. Fruits are not essential. Carbohydrates are not essential. You go the rest of your life and never eat one. You'll be fine. But they are a good source of vitamins, right? So a strawberry used to be loaded with vitamins. It's got about 1/10 of what it used to have now. Okay? So, not only are we malnourished because we don't understand what our essential nutrients are, we have a degraded food supply. So even if we were super knowledgeable about everything that we need to put in ourselves, can we actually get it from our food supply? No, not right now. And that's the horrible, horrible, horrible truth about what's going on. Now, again, if you're a senior, you're facing double challenge. The good thing is you're more resilient than the generations below you. The bad thing is we're facing all these challenges. So we don't know we're malnourished. That's the biggest one. The people that we trust kind of tell us about our health are limited, let's say, in their understanding of the truth. They've been taught a certain, if you're a doctor right now, you're taught a truth. You're taught an institutional truth that fits that institution. Is that the truth? No, that's not the truth. That's a convenient institutional truth. And again, happy to have that argument with anybody who wants to argue with me. But right now, seniors face, who do I trust? How do I get what I need out of my food supply? Is what Chip telling me right? Is what Dr. Joe telling me right? Is, a lot of chaos and confusion out here, right? If you're a senior right now. I'm telling you the truth, but again, believe me. But, you guys satisfy yourselves along those lines, right? Okay, so what are your essential nutrients? I know what I need to run my chainsaw, right? If I put oil and gas in that chainsaw, it's going to run really good. I know what I need to run my vehicle. I know what I need to run most of my home appliances. I know how to take care of them. I know how to maintain them. And if I get stuck, I go to my owner's manual. Where's your owner's manual? Where's your owner's manual? I mean, arguably, we're two things in this reality, right? We're a beautiful, incarnated, wonderful, multidimensional spirit, and we're this meat puppet vehicle that we drive around every day, okay? So, does this thing have maintenance? Does it require care? Are there certain things that I got to put in it in order to maintain it? Yeah, absolutely. And chief among those are essential nutrients. So essential nutrients are the things that you need to run your body. They are your oil and gas. Without essential nutrients, you're going to have the same result as if you tried to drive your car without oil and gas. You're going to have a bad result. Now, the cool thing is, in the way that you're designed, this vehicle is designed, it'll triage. So if I am not getting my oil and gas, if I'm not getting my essential nutrients, I'll begin to rob less critical areas. Okay? So I'll first of all rob cosmetic areas, and then I'll rob reproductive areas. Alright? So, you guys aren't going to believe me when I say this, but I encourage you to satisfy yourself. Every single visible sign of aging has to do with collagen malnourishment. Okay? You don't age, you just look more malnourished. Alright? Cells want to hit a maturity. Cells want to become all they can be. They want to hit this mature point, and then they want to kind of stay there and run there, right? Well, what does that mean to us physiologically? What would that mean to us if we had all this figured out? Well, you're going to hit about 30, 35 in appearance, and you're going to stay there for the rest of your life. We're not going to age to what physically look like we're aging in the way that we do now. It's all collagen. And why does this happen? You need 5 to 10 grams of collagen every single day to keep up with gut lining, with your gut lining. You turn over 5 to 10 grams of collagen every day just in your gut lining. Where are you getting 5 to 10 grams of collagen? I mean, again, what do we do when we go buy ground beef? Fat, and I'll walk through what the essential nutrients are in a second. But what do we do when we go buy ground beef? Well, we look for the leanest, 99% lean. Well, it's got a lot of protein in it, but that doesn't have any collagen in it, and it also doesn't have fat in it. So let's walk through essential nutrients real quick. What are your essential nutrients? So your essential nutrients, the first category of essential nutrients, is by far and away the most important category. So these are things that you gotta have every day, okay? Gotta have them every day. If you don't have them, it's your oil and gas, you're gonna break in some way, all right? Omega-3 and omega-6 fats in balance. You have to have them in balance. Right now, because of our food supply, and that's why I talked about our meat, because our meat is eating so much corn, that puts a ton of omega-6 in our meat. Because our meat is not eating grass anymore, that takes away omega-3. Now, why is this important? We need to be eating equal amounts of omega-3 and omega-6. Let me give you an example, okay? Let's say you're allergic to dust, all right? Allergic to dust. I'm going to feed you equal amounts of omega-3 and omega-6 the way that we should. This is how configurable we are by food, okay? You're allergic to dust. I feed you equal amounts of omega-3 and omega-6. I take you on a trip. I drive you through a dust storm. In the dust storm, you're horribly uncomfortable. You're having a reaction. You have an allergy to dust. And as soon as we come out of the dust storm, whoop, you go right back to normal. You're the same person you were before we drove into the dust storm. Okay? Got me? With me? All right. Let's say you eat a lot of meat from Crest and you don't supplement with omega-3. All right? Wham! You're going to have a ton of omega-6 and no omega-3. How does that change things? I can't drive you through a dust storm. I might kill you from anaphylactic shock. You're that reactive and that inflammatory. One dust mite is going to do the same thing driving you through that dust storm did. It's going to create the same reaction inside of you. It's going to create the same reactivity. Your immune system is going to treat that mite exactly the way it did a big pile of dust. Whoop! And you're going to get stuck in that reaction. Okay? Every little dust mite, every little bacteria that invades you, every little parasite, it's going to be like you're on fire. In cancer therapy, we've all heard of chemotherapy, right? Does chemotherapy kill cancer? No. Chemotherapy allows your immune system to be calmed down enough to where it goes, gee, I have cancer. I'll go kill it. You kill cancer. Your immune system kills cancer. Chemotherapy adjusts this horrible misbalance that we have enough to where your body can recognize it as cancer. Okay? So, essential nutrient category number 1, omega-3, omega-6, in balance. We all miss too much omega-6. Easy to fix. Supplement with omega-3, DHA and EPA. Everyone should be taking 2 grams of EPA, DHA every single day. If you're not doing that, you're not getting your oil and gas, then you're going to suffer. And what are the main consequences of omega-3, omega-6? It's everywhere. Literally, they go in every single cell. Every single cell wall is built from omega-3 and omega-6 fats. So this matters to everything. It matters to your neurology. It matters to your immune system. It matters to your brain. It matters to your heart. It matters to everything. Everything. Okay? Category 1. Category 2 is amino acids. Protein. All right? So if you eat 4 ounces of meat a day, you're getting your essential amino acids. All right? The problem is most of us are infected with things, and there's 7 conditional amino acids that will build from those 9, and that's mainly collagen. So most of us are throttled around collagen. We don't build collagen the way that we should, and we need collagen. Like I said, you can turn over 5 to 10 grams at least of collagen every day just in your gut lining. Just in your, not counting lung lining, not counting if you're a female, you've got other linings that I don't have, not counting those linings. So just your gut lining, 5 to 10 grams of collagen. So all of us are collagen deficient right now. Collagen, 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 collagen. You can't get enough collagen. Everybody needs collagen. If, again, if your hair is starting to turn gray and you want to fix that, that's a vitamin and collagen deficiency. If your teeth are going bad, that's a collagen deficiency. If your
eyes are going down, that's a collagen deficiency. If your skin is becoming wrinkled, that is a collagen deficiency. Okay? So lots of stuff in there. And collagen is also, when I'm speaking to you, you are hearing me because I am vibrating a matrix called air, right? So I am using my vocal cords to vibrate a matrix. You are decoding that through your ears, that vibration, that sounds to you like speech. Cells do the same thing. They want to talk to each other. They have to have a good matrix, like our air that we vibrate. They vibrate something called the extracellular matrix. That is collagen. If you don't have enough collagen, your cells can't communicate in the way that they need to communicate. The last category are vitamins. We've all heard about vitamins. If I ask you what your essential nutrients were, most of us would say, oh, well, I know vitamins are in there somewhere. So vitamins, trace minerals like iodine, and metals like magnesium and iron. Okay? So there's several different metals, there's several different trace, and then we all kind of know what our vitamins are. But here, and I'll just use this example with vitamins. And I'm trying to kind of give you guys examples of how we malnourish ourselves without even knowing it. So chopping a crust, you're going to get too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3 unless you supplement. Again, if you just eat normal, you're going to be collagen deficient. And then the last category are vitamins. And vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K are all fat-soluble vitamins. So what does that mean? It means you'll store a little bit of them. And it also means that that cow or that pig or that sheep or chicken that you're eating also stored a little bit of them. So you're going to get some of those vitamins in your food supply. B and C vitamins are water soluble. If you're not taking a B and C vitamin every day, you are malnourished. There are B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B9, and B12 are all very important. So most of us have B12 around, and we think that's enough. Right? Or we might take a C every once in a while we get sick, and we think that's enough. That ain't enough. Every day we have to have B and C vitamins. You can play the AI game. I mean, I won't go through all the examples, but without B, so just ask AI, what happens if I don't have B vitamins? If I miss with B vitamins in my nourishment? And your cells don't work the way they should. Your immune system won't work the way that they should. So, by our behavior with essential nutrients, we are setting ourselves up for infection. Okay? We are setting ourselves up for infection. And the first thing that happens, the first line of infectives that will come and infect you, and everyone in this room, and if you don't believe me, come to our office and I'll show you. Everyone in this room is infected at this level. I'll tell you right now, because I see hundreds and hundreds of people all the time, so I know that this is the fact. And I'm still infected at this level, and I know more about this than possibly anybody in the world. So what happens is, because we don't get enough collagen, our gut lining, the cells in our gut lining begin to fail. And when the cells in the gut lining fail, they don't produce acid, and they don't produce mucus at the same level. That's what guards your insides from your outsides. If your barrier space, just like a border wall. Again, if our border wall fails, you're going to get invaded. Okay? You're going to get invaded by stuff. And the first line of infectives that infect us, your stomach is a big tank. In a perfect world, it fills with acid when you eat. That disinfects everything that comes in. You're just acidifying everything. You're killing all the bacteria, parasites, and everything that you're potentially getting from your food supply in your stomach. That's the way it should work. What happens with most of us, because we don't get enough collagen, is that tank begins to fill up less and less and less and less. And when it fills up less, you've got an area that's open for infection and colonization. So that happens. As soon as that area gets infected, you can't absorb nutrients in the same way. So if I'm a bug and I want to infect you and inhabit you, isn't it a neat trick to take away all the nutrients that might kill me? And that's exactly what they do, because they're smart and they're effective. They've been doing this for a long time. They've probably been on Earth longer than we have. So they're very adaptive, very smart, very effective. Now, again, we can find these guys and they're easy to kill. You just have to know that you have them. So really the whole idea here is that we want to build this strong wall by understanding what we need and what we're missing in our nutrients. So if I can get you to build a strong wall, you're going to defend yourself. You're not going to get infected with stuff. But right now, we're all getting infected with stuff, right? And if you look at the cause of this disease, cause is over here, symptoms are over here. You know, disease we talk about really as symptoms. Is rheumatoid arthritis, is that a disease? No, it's symptoms. You know, is obesity a disease? No, it's symptoms. Is type 2 diabetes a disease? No, it's symptoms. So we talk about symptoms, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff that happens between root cause and symptom expression. Now, the medicine of the future, right now the medicine of today is just moving you out of symptoms, right? So if I'm the pharmaceutical system and I can move you out of symptoms, well, I'm going to make you happy, you're going to feel better and all that. But I'm not walking you back here. The medicine of the future will be understanding root cause and walking you back to that root cause situation. And that gets rid of a lot of other stuff than just how you potentially are manifesting symptoms. The way that we look at this is invasion, right? So it's like a border wall. So there's stages to how your border wall comes down, and then how you get infected with stuff, and how that can impact you. Stage 5, let's say, would be the worst. At stage 5, you're super susceptible to cancer. It's likely you're going to get cancer. At stage 4, you're less susceptible. At stage 3, you're less susceptible. At stage 2, it's highly unlikely you'll ever get cancer. And at stage 1, there's no way you'll get cancer. And I don't care where you are, how old you are, how sick you are, we can begin to move you out of whatever stage you're in. And it's nutrition. We're just really using nutrition. You are a very sophisticated machine that works in a very logical way, which is really cool. All right, so the last category here is essential fats. Essential fats is the biggest place that we miss, okay? So omega-3 and omega-6 balance is where we really miss. And that is the most impactful of the essential nutrients where we miss. All of, the bottom line here is we all need to supplement with EPA and DHA. All of us. If you look at brain diseases, really significant neurodegenerative diseases like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's and dementia and things like that, they all have to do with fat processing and basically improper fat processing in the brain. But this all is triggered by omega-3 and omega-6 imbalance. So again, everybody needs to eat more omega-3s, and DHA and EPA in particular. Okay, so super important. We're all kind of driven by the Facebook ad or the TikTok ad or the whatever. I'm going to save you guys some money. Okay, if you're already buying supplements, I'm going to save you some money right here. Okay, so we've all seen the CoQ10 ad. We all need CoQ10, right? It's a magic shot. It's a great thing for our heart. It will help mitochondria. It's a wonderful thing. Man plus. Wow! Yeah, plus we'll make my mitochondria go, we'll save my heart, we'll make me healthier. Iron, magnesium, B12, B9, all of that. All of those things are built from essential nutrients. You don't need CoQ10 if you're getting your essential nutrients. You don't need, your body makes it. You don't need you don't need NAD plus if you're taking all your, it's built from niacin, which is a B vitamin. You don't need those things if you're taking your essential nutrients. So what do you really need to do? What do we all really need to do? We all need to supplement with omega-3, so EPA and DHA. We all need to supplement for collagen, because that's mainly where we miss. And again, if we can get our stomach acid up and do some stuff like that at the same time, that's really beneficial. And then we all need to supplement for vitamins, trace minerals, and metals. That's it. Okay? You can, again, I can put that in a glass, and, we have to eat some calories for fuel. Yeah, but you're not missing anything. Okay? That's where we're headed. Okay? Eventually, we'll be able to do that in our food supply, but it's not good enough right now. You can't you're going to have to, spinach. I'll get my B vitamins from spinach like Popeye. Yeah, good luck. You get a room full of spinach because it ain't what it used to be. So you guys kind of get an idea. We're, it's an interesting society that we live in. And I would say that this society really has been about making money and not in your best interest, right? And that's kind of how we've gotten ourselves in the mess that we're in. We can change that. We can change that right now. It just takes the decision. It just takes movement. It just takes, something to get behind. So I would argue MAHA, RFK Jr.'s movement, if you will, is a very good thing to get behind. There's some things that are happening here in Oklahoma. My wife has built a nonprofit called Truth in Health, where we're trying to do some of this stuff, bring awareness. Why isn't every physician taught about essential nutrients? If you guys want to have some fun, next time you go to the doctor, go, Doc, what are my essential nutrients? What's my oil and gas? What do I got to have every day to maintain my health in my body? He's going to give you the deer in the headlights look because he or she doesn't know. They don't know. They weren't taught this. The PhDs that teach them don't know what their essential nutrients are. The dietitians that teach them don't know what their essential nutrients are. That's how insane the gap this is. So how do we change it? Let's require every licensed medical professional to have education around essential nutrients. Let's require every kid that comes through Francis Tuttle to be educated on essential nutrients. It's not hard. It just requires change. All right, so I think that's probably a good place to leave it. It is. So
Awesome.
There.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's stay right here.
Oh,
Just right there. Real quick, if everybody will pull, oops, okay. So I thought it was all everything. I'm so sorry. Okay, so if I could draw your attention to the evaluation